Would you rather read a romance with incredible chemistry and almost no spice, or a book with tons of spice but a terrible plot? Yeah, today's choice only gets harder. Hello, bookworms. Welcome back to the Book Hangover Club, where the only cure is another great book. In today's video, we're going to be getting into a little game called This or That. The rules of the game are pretty simple. I'm going to outline two things and pretty much choose between the two options. The game seems simple, but it's also going to be very hard because having to choose between two things, especially if it's two things that I hate, this is definitely going to be very interesting. This video is basically a personality test for romance readers. By the end of this video, we're going to find out if we have the same reading tastes or if we are complete opposite. With that being said, sit back, grab a snack. I don't have any snacks, but I'm currently watching TV while I'm recording this. I'm actually watching a new anime series while I'm recording this, and it's a little bit distracting, but that's fine. I'm really good at multitasking, so let's get this game started. Jumping right into it, question one is pretty easy, I'd say. Do you prefer two grumpy characters versus a grumpy and a sunshine character? Personally, I love two grumpy characters. I feel like there are different ways to be grumpy, and it's just refreshing to get two characters that are on the same wavelength, and it's like I could meet you grump for grump. And then you sprinkle a little bit of like dry humor in there as well. I love that. I love two grumpy characters. I'm not opposed to grumpy and sunshine. I'm not opposed to that dynamic. But I will say that I do side eye some sunshine characters because I feel like, is it really realistic for someone to be like this happy-go-lucky ray of sunshine type of person? I don't know, I just go into that dynamic a little bit skeptical because I feel like it's a little bit unrealistic. That probably says a lot about me than it does that specific trope. Maybe it's just because I'm not necessarily grumpy, but I feel like my personality type relates more to a grumpy character than a sunshine character. So maybe it's weird because I can't relate. All right, moving right along. Question number 2, fake dating versus marriage of convenience. Now, this is a hard one for me because I hate fake dating. Like, I try not to read any books that are centered around fake dating just because I don't know what it is about it. I don't like it. Like, even though I don't mind a forced proximity, why does it have to be fake dating? But maybe I do need to revisit that thought a little bit because there's a book by Beth Bolden that came out not too long ago, and it did feature, a fake dating dynamic, and I absolutely love that book. And for some reason, the fake dating in that book did not bother me. So maybe I won't use the word hate. Maybe just that's definitely not my go-to if I'm looking for a book. Marriage of convenience, I don't know, this is a hard one. I'm gonna choose fake dating just based off of that Beth Bolden book that I mentioned. I don't think I've read a lot of marriage of convenience books. I don't feel like I've read any marriage of convenience books. You know what? That's probably a lie. Maybe I have read like less than 5, I would say. Either way, I'm choosing fake dating. Question number 3, third act breakup versus miscommunication. I'm choosing miscommunication all day. I hate, this time I'm not taking it back. I'm using the right word. I hate a third act breakup. Give me like a second act breakup. Like, give me time to get to know these characters. Whatever splits them up, but eventually they get back together. We also have time to experience that as well. What led to the breakup? How does each MC feel about, the separation? What aha moments or moments of growth or moments of emotional maturity take place while they're apart? What brings them back together? And how do they navigate coming back together and maybe communicating better or doing whatever it is they need to do to make sure that they don't end up in that situation again? Like, give me a chance to navigate that with the characters. Don't give me a third act breakup and then they finally get together. Then we're skipping right to the epilogue. When I tell you that shit annoys me so bad, I absolutely hate a third act breakup. So I'm going miscommunication. We're staying together and we're being open and we're being honest. We're learning to be open and we're learning to be honest with each other. We are fighting through this tough time. Miscommunication all day. Question number 4. No spice versus too much spice. Now I know that there are some and I'm trying to be nice and not too judgmental. I know that there are some overly freaked out club members in the book Hangover Club. I'm not judging. I'm just pointing out that I'm not going to call any names, but I know some of you cannot read a book if there is no smut. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But me personally, while I would prefer there to be smut, now I'm thinking, because we're not mentioning the plot or the book itself. Like, is it a really good book, but there's just too much spice? Or is it a really good book and there's no spice? Now, I feel like this is cheating a little bit, but I'm going to say that if it's a really good book and I really love the characters, I'm okay with too much spice. Because if I really love the characters, I don't want it to have absolutely no spice. So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. I know I just called all the overly freaked out club members out. While I didn't mention any names, I'm recanting my statement because I ended up choosing too much spice. Moving right along. Question 5. Friends to lovers versus enemies to lovers. I love a friends to lovers trope. It's just something about you've been friends with this person for X amount of time and you practically grew up together and you never knew that you had feelings for them. Something happens and all of a sudden both of you realize that you're in love with one another. That just seems like such a beautiful dynamic. I'm not against enemies to lovers. I definitely do feel like sometimes it could be overplayed and sometimes it could just be bullies to lovers. Like, you guys are not enemies. The one of them is just a bully. Yeah, we're going friends to lovers. And bonus points if it's best friend to lovers because that's different. Number 6, slow burn versus instant attraction. I fear the answer to this question is very dependent on how I'm feeling and what my mood is. Because sometimes I'm in the mood for a good slow burn. And sometimes I want quick novella, instant attraction, sprinkled with a little bit of smut, and I just go on about my day. So I'm going to answer this based off of my current mood. And I'm gonna go slow burn. Question number 7, age gap versus forbidden romance. Now, I feel like this question is a little bit vague because I feel like age gap would kind of fall underneath the category of forbidden romance. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it depends on what the age gap is. This one's hard because I feel like forbidden romance is so vague. I'm gonna go age gap. As long as it's not weird and it's not I fell in love with my best friend's dad, I'm gonna go age gap. Number 8, hockey romance versus detective mystery romance. This is obviously a no-brainer for me. I'm going detective mystery romance all day. That is my all-time favorite dynamic when it comes to romance. I feel like I've read maybe I haven't read every book series or standalone novel there is falls within that specific area, but I've definitely read a lot. Not enough, but a lot. And every time I finish one, I'm on the lookout for something similar. While I love a hockey romance, it just does not compare to a mystery novel. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've loved mystery novels since I was a kid. I mean, Nancy Drew, I used to read a lot. I feel like there's another one. I cannot remember the name of it. Okay, I had to go look it up because I knew if I didn't, it was going to bother me for the rest of the day. The series is the Carson Kids, and it's like these kids who solve mysteries. I'm not surprised I love mystery. And my favorite cartoon of all time is Scooby-Doo. I'm not surprised that I love mystery novels so much. I mean, they're just so good. Question number 9, single point of view versus dual point of view. I'm gonna go with dual POV just because it makes sense. I feel like when I read a book that's only single, I'm kind of thinking about, what is the other character thinking? And I just feel like when it's dual, you get a sense of who both characters are. And usually I just leave the book with a sense of satisfaction. Like, I understood who both characters were which is what I prefer, rather than when with single POV, it's just, I feel like I walk away with more questions than answers sometimes. In the grand scheme of things, I would say dual POV is what I would prefer. The final question number 10, do you prefer a cinnamon roll main character or a morally gray character? I feel like the answer to this question is dependent on, I'm just gonna pick and morally gray character. I'm gonna pick morally gray. Give me a detective romance, grumpy characters who are morally gray. I guess that would be a forbidden romance, technically, because are you supposed to date your partner, or are you supposed to, whatever the dynamic is, you're probably not supposed to date the person you're dating if it's a mystery romance. Make it a slow burn. And I guess it would be a friends to lovers, because you and your partner, if that's the dynamic, are kind of friends in a sense. Work friends count. So friends to lovers. Maybe there's a bit of an age gap. Just a little bit. Dual point of view. No third act breakup. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication just to see how they argue with each other. And too much spice. And I'm hooked. Honestly, I just described a book series that I'm currently reading, which is Criminal Intentions by Cole McCade. Okay, bookworms, that is it for today's video. I'm gonna do a lot more videos similar to this one because that was really fun. I'm gonna do more videos like this. In fact, I think the next time I play this game, I'm gonna make the questions a lot more difficult. I just have to dig deep and think of things that I really hate. Stay tuned for that, as well as any other videos that I post. If I'm being honest, this week has definitely been a lot, to say the least. Taking care of your mental health is very, very important. That is a lesson that I learned. Although it was a very bitter pill to swallow, it was necessary, and it's scary, but I think it's important that, if you are going through something, there's nothing wrong, number one, with admitting that you are dealing with something. And number two, there's nothing wrong with reaching out and getting the appropriate care and help that you need so that you can get on, the other side of what it is that you're going through. So I just want to put that message out there to anyone who needs to hear that. If you would like to join the Book Hangover Club, please feel free to subscribe. And as always, drop down in the comments and let me know what it is you guys think. Do we have a similar personality when it comes to romance novels? And this doesn't even have to specifically be MM romance. I feel like these categories were a little bit broad. They weren't specific to just MM romance. They were more specific to romance in general. So even if you're not into MM romance, did we have the same personality when it came to romance books in general? Also, give me some this or that questions that I can throw in next this or that video. Think of some really hard ones and throw them in the comments, and who knows, maybe you'll see your question in a video, and I'll definitely tag your YouTube username in that particular question, kind of letting everybody know, hey, this is where this question came from. Please feel free to hit that notification bell so that you are privy to when I post my next video. Who knows what it'll be? Maybe it'll be something similar to this. Maybe it'll be a couple book recommendations. I'm not really sure yet. Stay tuned, and as always, bookworms, I will catch you guys in the next video.